I play Jane Winslet Richardson. Don't ask me where he got that from. Who is a reporter for the Oceanographic Explorer. And she is pregnant by mistake in a bad sort of relationship with a married man. And she's not sure, even at the beginning of the film, whether she's going to keep the baby or not. And she falls in love with Owen's character, Ned, who's kind of adrift. They're both sort of outsiders on the ship. And it's really sweet. Their relationship's really sweet. He's never had a serious girlfriend. He's only slept with 2 women before, so there's an innocence about him. And I think Jane is quite jaded.
Kate is somebody who is very, very prepared, very focused. She has a good intellectual understanding of it, and it's quite different from Bill or somebody like Owen, who are not really about being extremely prepared. They're more about being, standing next to the sound card while they're wiring them for sound, running lines with, the assistant director or something, or something like that.
Now, Wes is really specific in the way he draws characters. I mean, his writing is so specific. You don't really change a word. I don't think a word's been changed of the script that I read. And Jane was already pregnant, and I was making The Aviator with Martin Scorsese, and I was actually getting fitted with a body cast for this because I needed to have a prosthetic belly because I wasn't pregnant. And you have to get naked, and they cover you in, Vaseline, and then they put the plaster cast on you, which is quite restrictive, so you can't breathe very well. And I fainted, and I don't faint, and I thought that was really strange. And then about a week later, I discovered I was pregnant, and Wes was accusing me of being a method actor. But, it was a complete coincidence.
At first, obviously, we worried that, well, will she be able to do the film, because it's, being pregnant and it's kind of a full-time job. But she was totally gung-ho about doing it and excited about doing it and thought it would help her play the part. Because you can see that she's a bit hormonal, her character is, and maybe she had some actual physiological help with her acting.
You're taking something out of me. Stop crying. What's the deal here? I'm just trying to defend myself.
Well, congratulations. You did a great job. I'm sure you'll make a terrific father.
Next question.
Good, great. Good, great, excellent.
Handkerchief, please.
I have to tell you, I've been a member of the Zissou Society since I was 11.
Well, damn, will you look at that?
Junior member.
You want to kill it?
Frankly, I better not. I don't usually try grass.
I played Ned Plimpton. I'm kind of a Southerner, but I'm sort of a Southerner like out of the Civil War documentary, kind of like kind of this very kind of courtly, kind of very polite gentleman. And I think that sort of wins Kate's character over a little bit because he is just kind of a very decent person. And, you meet a lot of people that are very polite and everything, but Ned's politeness is beyond that. It's sort of more of a goodness. And I think she responds to that. She recognizes that in Ned. And that's kind of different from other characters I've played that have usually kind of had more kind of problems. And that was actually the challenge, not so much that I didn't have anything to do with the writing. It was that this character that I play is so kind of earnest and good and kind is a little bit trickier for me to play.
This is the first time I met Owen, and he's really captured this, I think it's heartwarming, this sort of real innocence in Ned, which I think is hard for a modern man to kind of embrace, but he's done it.
His name's Nico.
Who?
Hello, Vikram.
Give me that camera. I'm gonna smash it over your head. Give it to me. Give me the camera.
Walking or we do? You want us to start walking or?
We have to stop walking.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
You don't stop walking. Keep going. Hello, Vikram.
Hello, Victor.
All right.
That's been an experience to work with Owen, because he's, I don't know, he's kind of James Deanish in a way. He sort of disappears. But the way James Dean gets characterized in certain movies where he's like, you know, he goes off. You never know what the heck Owen is thinking, really. You have no idea, or even if he's thinking at all, let's be fair. But he's a funny one. He comes and goes, and he has his own thing that he's doing. This is probably my son, Ed. Just a minute.
Have the light. Okay, cut it. All right, do another one.
Wes uses costumes to reveal character, to give a unique world to the film, and to tell his story. A lot of the iconic costumes in the movie were conceived by Wes and Noah and put into the screenplay. But the work that Melena's done to realize those and to bring all sorts of other ideas to the story have been great.
No, but that's the kind of trousers I like. I like short boxers like that are
and a bit tight.
yeah.
So that they don't. We can try those.
Because then they show the muscular.
But look, Bill.
See.
The back is fine.
Well, that's really a lady's choice.
The back is fine.
We have the brilliant Milena Canonero, who I've been a huge fan of since she did The Shining. She's the kind of costume person that calls you up and inspires you on the telephone way long before you ever come to do a film. And in this case, Milena said, you know, you're playing Eleanor, and, you know, I think it would be very beautiful to have blue hair, you know, and that's number one, and you start to get interested. And then she says, and maybe you have green eyes, you know. I saw something very beautiful in Morocco where they put blue on the inside of the eyes. So you already kind of get electrified by what she has to say long before you come to set.
I went kicking and screaming to the set every day in this costume. And Wes wanted this costume. And by God, he's right with it. You know, I mean, at a certain point, the costume weds with the actor, and there's a character. And without that polyester shroud, somebody asked me what my costume was like in the movie. I said, it's sort of like diarrhea. And I said to Wes at one point early, I said, well, God, you know, he's got this twerpy look. And Wes, I don't think he's a twerp. I don't think he looks strange. I think he looks great.
I think that the element that I love most about the costumes is the caps, the Team Zissou caps. Seeing them en masse, they're a bunch of red caps, and how sweet. But then if you look closely, everyone's cap is slightly different, and they've all got their own sort of signature. Like, Bill looks like a Smurf, and Willem's got a pom-pom, and it's really sweet.
I think this was Wes's idea, if this could be an idea. But he does give you room to add personal touches. But in the end, it's got to be something that he really responds to. He doesn't really indulge people's personal fantasies unless they align with his.
Okay, ready, go, action!
The costume is huge. It certainly points the way, and certainly when I get in these clothes, I don't feel quite like myself.
Run! Now, move, go!
You know, in some projects you actually work with the designer, or you work with the director to talk about what you need. That happens very much after the fact. I'm pretty much shown a picture, a cartoon of who Klaus is, and I'm told to be it, activate it. I mean, not that directly, but that's my sense of it. They fit it on you and they say, that's Klaus.
It's hard sometimes, yeah, to see where Steve Zissou ends and where Bill Murray begins. And Bill's very comfortable walking around in a Speedo or, things that you don't, think of American men, kind of, I guess in Europe they wear Speedos, but Bill is kind of to the manner born. He loves kind of sporting a Speedo. I don't know, more power to him. He's a better man than me.
There is a whole portion of this film that takes place underwater, and this whole sort of relationship with the sea and the undersea world. And all the undersea creatures in this movie are going to be created via animation. And the animation won't be computer animation. The animation is going to be stop motion, traditional animation, where we're building models and, little sculptures which are being built in San Francisco by Henry Selick and his crew. And he's going to be animating all these characters, and then they're going to be placed into the scene. So there will be, technology used to marry the two worlds together, but both the things are going to be actual created objects.
This is the first
My job here in Rome is being the conduit between Wes and the animation unit, which is happening simultaneously in San Francisco, and working with Wes to help him get the designs that he wants.
Maybe these need to have a little bit of curvature to them or something, Because I think when they get too straight, maybe they start to look...
robot.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a mechanical thing. But that's just a little...
A lot of the creatures in this film are just slightly different than reality. Now, I'm got more of a cartoon background, even if it's stop motion. I'm used to larger exaggeration. Wes is more interested in subtle exaggeration. His sense of humor is a little more, delicate. And I really admire it, but it makes it a lot harder for us. It takes a few weeks to get used to Wes's aesthetic. You kind of can't believe it at first, but then eventually you start to see the value and clarity of it, and then you go for it.
Henry took me seriously with the Paisley octopus that he went to town with. There's a lot of Paisleys here.
This one. I mean, what if we had it like that? I mean, that's almost feels like it also
It's
the
almost
way
feels
it's blurred.
Yeah.
This is kind of a good one. This feels like it could be.
Yeah, there is like a seahorse that sort of looks like that.
Yeah, we were serious.
I know. I was serious, but he laughed. And he took it as a personal project.
Good.
This is 2 research turtle tests.
Every scene that we did, the creatures they'd been designed, and we would put them in the computer and do a facsimile of what they might be when they're animated. That's where we begin, and then he sees other opportunities.
Does the mouth open and close? Maybe you can open and close the mouth when it's on the way in, since it won't be looking to us yet, and then it can look at us at the end. So when it gets up beside us, it'll look at us and shine the light in our face.
Okay.
Wes is an endlessly creative person, and it's refreshing and challenging for us in that anytime you show him something, he sees that as an opportunity to improve it or to introduce a new idea. And eventually he has to sign off, he has to let go. But that's been fun.
You have to see, this was supposed to be 4 or 5 feet long. And when the animator animated this, it swam through the water really slowly, and then its head moves really slowly, so it gives a lot of illusion of mass. And this was an interesting puppet also because it's supposed to have this little sub on its back with there's a little camera inside. There's a little light sticking through the head. So when we did it, we made a hollow shell inside with, you can see it getting opened up. There's little electronics inside. That one was really, took a long time because I asked him to sculpt all the wrinkles on it, which was, I was happy doing it, but.
This is the porcupine fish. This was created by sculpting around a hollow core and then casting the puppet with the hollow core still inside. And so it was a puppet that's a cross between a puppet and a balloon.
This was not a stop-motion puppet. This was a puppet that we put in a water tank. It was a water puppet. And it had to be really flexible. And basically, Miguel sculpted this so that it would already be kind of in a swimming position. So when we put it in the tank, we had a little umbrella, a mechanical umbrella over here that basically can be pulled, and each tentacle was anchored on one of these, and basically it was pulled through the water so it could swim realistically. So this is another water puppet. So it was supposed to flow through the water. And we have all these little cables that are pulling the wings that basically had these little handles. So this was swimming through the water. And the tail, all this material, this raglan, floats in water. So which is really nice because basically its tail kind of stayed straight in the water and just moved as we moved it through the water. The challenge with this guy is that its belly is supposed to be a star pattern. So all these little points of lights are fiber optic cables. So there's about 250 fiber optic cables. This was a really interesting puppet too, a little hummingbird fish, because it had a little motor in it. And these little wings move during the exposure.
Stop-motion animation is an ancient form of animation. It goes back to the very beginning of trick film photography. And, you know, there's a handful of people in the world who have specialized in this strange form of animation, and they are the animators, they are actors, and they're actually doing a performance from beginning to end, but in very slow motion through their puppets. So you have a character like myself, you know, imagine me as an animal with arms, and you need to have a hand reach out to here, come back, and clap. An animator will come in there and grab this, if I'm the puppet, grab it and move it about that much, take a frame, another frame, another frame, another frame, another frame. He'll slow out there to get a pose. You get a lot of frames there. Move back quickly. You take bigger motions, clap, moves together quickly, and out. So it's a successive series of stills. And if there's a complex character, say the crabs in Life Aquatic, which have 8 limbs and they're crawling around, you have to think crab. You have to imagine, how does something with that many legs move around? It's not a person. It's not something you can just feel yourself. So it's an arcane but highly fascinating and beautiful way to bring things to life. This is the jaguar shark. This is probably the biggest stop-motion puppet that's ever been created. When you're shooting things that are supposed to look like they're swimming, and if it's this big and heavy, you want it to sag against gravity. So upside down makes it look more like it's in water. It's one thing to shoot spaceships, which is a tradition here at ILM, but to create organic motion on all these creatures is a whole nother art, and I think the guys have done a great job at that.
Without question, this has been the most exciting movie I've ever been involved with. I've also probably aged more in this process than I have in any other film I've been involved in. The scope of the picture is large. The way that Wes sees this world is very specific, and quite often, seemingly on the edge of what's possible. When I finally got to the point of being able to define for myself the difference between what's possible and what's preferable, or easier, or usual, when I just finally got to the way of thinking, is it possible, it became much easier for me. The mission was to convey a sense of having traveled across the world without going farther from Rome than Naples. That was the mission. The other big part of the mission was to find the Belafonte, to find the boat. This is it's a film about people who live on a boat. So we had to figure out what that boat would be and find it. We had to cast this character in the film. As time was running out, we decided to take the chance and try and get this 50-year-old boat from Cape Town to Rome in the amount of time we had, which was not much. And it sort of limped in just in the nick of time. And we ended up having to work for 3 straight weeks, days and nights, in order to make that boat become the Belafonte. And in fact, you know, we were putting the last strokes of paint on it as it pulled out. From the beginning, Wes had it in his mind that we would be building the boat in some way. In today's case, we've built it in cross-section. It's 150 feet long. It's longer than a city block. It's 40 feet tall. We've built half the boat lengthwise so that we can move from room to room.
Thanks, intern. You're gonna get an A. Hey.
One thing that's very interesting about the way Wes shoots is he sees the movie in terms of shots. We're very used to cuts so that we don't have to make things, or digital backgrounds so that we didn't have to make them, because they're easier or cheaper. And Wes is, you know, he was really sure of the way the places were going to look as he wrote the story. And I think they are not significantly not different than they were originally described to me on the first day that we met.
You know how Eric found this place? He was looking in this neighborhood, and there's an old man who just sort of lives in his window in his underwear, like one of those little Italy guys. And he said, "What are you doing here?" And he told him what he was doing through the window. And he goes, "Oh, you got to go over here and see these stairs." That's how we got this one. Yeah, it's great.
There's something very Italian, European, which has kind of crept into this film and made it kind of made of a unique fabric that it wouldn't feel the same if it was made in America, and you could get, even if you had locations that looked similar. I think that flavor is actually a powerful force in the film.
This world is Wes's reality. Wes's reality is, and when I say that, I mean, it's not a period movie, but nothing's new. It's in Europe. It's on the Mediterranean. The places are Loquasto, but it's not Italy. They're almost, on one hand, genericized versions of these places, or fable-like descriptions of these places. And on the other hand, they're very textured. They're not two-dimensional. They're three-dimensional. My mission was to create a world that they inhabit that was somewhere between a science facility and a summer camp. And that was really how we looked at it. The compound, the place where they reside, their home base, has a pool with a killer whale in it. But it has a 12th century castle. It has seaplanes landing, but the ping pong table is really the central place there. I think that there's a I won't grow up quality to this world of Zissou. The other element is the underwater world. That's the place where we were able to be fantastic.
Underwater photography that's being done these days is so incredible that we're never really going to be able to top what's been done. You know, we've just seen the stuff they do in the Bahamas, or they do with these incredible cameras, and a lot of times one's instinct is, well, you know, let's find the best thing and try and top that, and I think that's, in general, a lot of the way people in Hollywood kind of think. And I think Wes was very savvy in immediately recognizing that, well, we're not going to be able to top that. So he came up with a whole different idea, which was to create a unique undersea world.
The line that we're treading in this story is it a comic book, or is it a fable? Is it a timeless story? Is it a very specific story about this man and his feelings? And it's both, and that's what's amazing about it. It's sometimes tongue-in-cheek comic. It's Bill Murray. And the other times it's the most tender, emotional, really true, personally felt storytelling.
Okay, here we go. All right. 24 Apple, take 10. Here we go. Watch this. All right, here we go.
Just like downtown.
And movimento.
Buona fortuna.
Action.
I never spent any time on anybody else's movie sets but my own. I didn't learn the way you do the stuff. I love to have people around where whatever weird thing I'm going to ask for, or whatever wrong way I'm going to approach something, isn't going to surprise them or throw them off. They're going to be able to accommodate that, and you know, and hopefully they'll be able to to enjoy that. And so the people I work with, they know how we kind of do this, and they know what degree to which things are going to be off the cuff.
It's very hard to second guess him or what he'll want or how he'll go about it. His refining process is really amazing. And when he's after something, he's going to get it. It doesn't matter how long he has to be there or how long he has to work on us to get it.
Do you want to get the moment where I'm sort of see him and surprised to see him? Because what I was doing there is I'm already seeing, as you see me, I've already seen him.
Yes, that's what I think.
But maybe you should see.
That's what I think. You should see him
on camera.
Yes.
Like I'm talking that. Look who it is. Da 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 da. You get that? Okay. Good idea. Sometimes I have a good idea. I bring to the director a whole plate, a cornucopia of ideas. He goes, no, thank you, no, thank you. Just that one little champagne break. I like it. Everything else, no thank you. And then I say, but I'm full of blown.
Wes is a very strong presence on the set, and it's a very relaxed atmosphere. I think he's created a situation that people have supported him to work a certain way, work at a certain pace, work with detail, not be crazy hurried. And Bill's been an important support in that he really sort of keeps the company together.
Captain Hennessy, can I get a shot of you with Captain Zissou?
No, I am not Captain.
It's actually a pretty efficient little crew.
Because he wants the shots to be perfect, you know, the shooting to be perfect, I don't really get locked. I never lock into how he wants it to get done. I sort of, every take is different. I sort of fly through them. I have fun with different words, different phrases. And then after we do a handful of them, he'll actually come and say, okay, I like this one, this word here, I like this phrase here, I like this, like that, I like this, like that, I like this, like that. And then I try to do it all at once, you know. But it's fun for me to just go, to just sort of release the lines and just let them fly. It's kind of like just shooting at the sky and feeling that, you know, making your own rhythm each time. And then finding then you end up finding a different kind of reading of lines than you would have found if you prepared it, you know, and really tried to nail, screw, and glue every single line. You find something very different.
Steve, you know Larry Mead, chairman of Southern.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Larry and I were just discussing our financial difficulties. I thought it'd be a good idea if the three of us rode out to the party together, just the three of us.
Why? Has Larry got that kind of spending bread to invest?
The King's back.
I was just
now.
awarded $500 million.
Captain Zissou, can I get a shot of you with Captain Hennessy?
Where?
Here. Over here. Got it. Okay. Let's check the gate. That was very, very nice at the beginning. That was nice. That was great.
Permiso.
Dirty look.
How you look the woman? Huh? You look the woman. I like the woman. You are very old. She says, I'm not that old. I can still do what I can do. I still remember. You remember? Everything, every day. Besides, it has nothing to do with how old you are. You only have to be good once, really good.
Yeah, I take this box. And I'll take one of those boxes. These are great cigars, the Sancho Panzas, the Bellicosas. Do you have them?
Yes.
You worked with John Cassavetes?
Yeah, it was a great time. John had a great humanity to him, which you see in his films. So when he died, it was a big loss for me personally, because we were very close from 57 to 89 when he died. And I think of him often. He didn't care. He said, I'm making this movie for us. It's your movie, it's my movie, it's your movie. You know, we made it. And we go see audiences and we go, I really like the movie, that's great. But yeah, he just dealt with that everybody relates to. I mean, relationships, how difficult it is. As much as you love a woman, I mean, to talk to her. You're thinking as a man, because you grew up guys all the time, this and that, you know, and then suddenly you're talking to a woman and you talk differently because they're different and you're different. Sure. And it's just, you know, I look at the work I did with him, and you could offer me all the money in the world and say, we'll give you this money, but we take that away. And I said, forget it. You know. I'm glad you liked it.
Yes,
all right, I'll be back. I gotta go.
Thank you.
I gotta go put a bald cap on. I hate it.
Bye.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be another one for the Explorers Club.
Oh, I'm getting dingy. That's really going to be fun.
You're getting nitrogen poisoning.
You're the camera? No.
I'm the camera. Okay, so I go like this. I'm the camera. I go like this. Boom. Good. Now, then we're gonna do one where it goes like this. I go like this, and you point, and then you look over there, and then here comes one like this. Swims right past here. You see him go, and then you look back at the camera again. So I'll just say, it swims by, and you'll just do a swim by. Yeah.
Can I talk to you from this? No.
No, don't, under no circumstances try to speak. It's the most dangerous thing to do.
Why? John, we're flying on an airplane to New York, he said. See, let your hair grow. I said, what for? I said, it's long enough now. He said, I'm going to write a movie with you and Jenna. I said, okay. What kind of movie? He said, a romantic comedy, a love story. I said, do I get to kiss your wife? He said, yeah, it's a love story, stupid.
Seymour, nod if you can do a laugh. Can you hear me? You cannot hear me. Okay, I know, but do one more. Just look into the camera and do a laugh. Okay, he's coming up. All right, cut it.
It's filled up to here.
You can clear it just by putting your finger there and blowing through your nose. Don't lift it.
Any water in it.
But when you lift it, it destroys the bulb cap. Just put your finger there and blow out through your nose.
It's not ready.
Okay. All right, good. Let's do another one. Okay. Laugh, Seymour. Okay. All right, good. Let's do it. Do another one. Okay, do one where you're just smiling. See, your arms feel awkward to me. Why don't you see if you can just cross your arms like you're on land? Can you do that? Okay, this looks good. Now shrug the shoulders. And then cross the arms again. Good. Good. Okay, cross the arms again. Cross your arms.
Arms crossed, laugh. Good, Seymour, good. Now shrug. Good, good, excellent. Okay, good. All right, good. Now one more of those. Take it from the top. One more of those, Seymour.
Yep.
Come back down. Come back down. That was good. We got that part.
I feel like it's my-
all your fans out there.
All 5 of them. This is my last movie. I will never be on screen again. Wes Anderson killed me. What a way to die, huh? Give all this stuff back.
Seymour Cassell. He's the man.
Good. Good. Can I go get this skull cap off now? Please? This goddamn skull cap.